Welcome back to At Home with Roby. I'm Patrick McIsaac of Roby Electric, and along with Trent Haston, President and CEO of the Roby family of companies, we're your hosts. Be sure to connect with us on Facebook at Andrew Roby, Roby Electric, and Roby Realty. You can also check out our podcast if you missed any of the show. Trent, you were recapping a little bit about the construction side. Tell us about the second home market.
Yeah, we have a thriving office in Boone. So we work in the Boone, Blowing Rock, Linville, Banner Elk region.
Beautiful homes up there.
Which really draws strongly from Charlotte. We got a manager up there that's been building in the Linville area for over 30 years, Rick Gentry. Did lumber sales for some of that time. He's like the brawny man. He's Mr. Integrity, honesty, but he knows how to get the job done. So we got some really cool projects up there. So if you're interested in having your home serviced or handyman work or renovated or looking at a new home up there, we can definitely help you with that. Our Boone office, and then we have a thriving office in Raleigh,
right?
And it's kind of like trying to parlay our Charlotte office, but it's not the 66 years that we have in Charlotte, but we got a great leader in Nicole Goolsby, and that's really our focus right now, along with Charlotte. On the residential side, on the commercial side, we really become a regional company working, in a 3 or 4 state region under Matt's growth and leadership, and really it's all relationships, and a lot of those relationships have manage multiple locations and stuff.
It's really cool. We talk about this relationships and customer experience. I'm going to tell a quick story. There's a new up-and-coming, you were talking about Peter Millar, great brand. There's a new up-and-coming brand called Fish Hippie. Have you heard of this yet, Trent? You see my hat?
I used the Fish Hippie koozie you gave me the other day.
There you go. So what happened, we were trying to figure out what kind, and Fish Hippie, if somebody knows these people that are listening to the show, I hope that they can hear this.
By the way, I'm anti-everything hippie. No, well, I'm joking.
It's not. The sporting gin who we've had on the show sells this stuff. So my daughter and I were sitting, my daughter's 5, we were sitting in our bedroom, and she was looking at the shirt, and she said, "Dad, what kind of fish is that?" And I said, I don't really know. So we started Googling fish to try to figure out what kind of fish it was. Still couldn't figure it out. I guess I'm not that intelligent. So I sent an email to info@fishhippie.com and said, "Hey, told the story, got a couple shirts, really like your stuff. What kind of fish is this?" So my daughter and I are trying to figure out. And the guy said, answers within an hour, "It's a tarpon. Send me your address, and I'll send you guys some free stickers for your daughter." And I'm like, yeah, right. This guy's not. I send the address off. A couple days later, we get a package on the front door with the Fish Hippie logo on it. So I went and got Scarlett, and she went and opened the package, and the guy had 10 koozies that I gave you one.
Oh, I gave it back to you. Dang it.
Okay, that's to be determined. A bunch of stickers that are now all over Scarlett's lunchbox and her thermos, and a nice note. I mean, I just thought that was so cool. I mean, that is customer experience to the T. And I think that's what has built you and your family have built this business on, is that personal customer experience and relationship.
Yeah, I've always told the story. I mean, I'm so grateful to have my grandfather, Mr. Roby, and my dad and the generations before us that gave that great service. I've always told the story that I would go on these appointments with my dad when I was 12 or 14, and we'd go to somebody's house, and they'd be asking about the roof, and he'd find a way to get on his knees and be humble, and it was just all, and he was doing it genuinely, and he'd be rubbing the floor while the conversation was going on. I'm going, he didn't tell me when we got in the car. He was inherently teaching. He didn't go back in the car and say, "No, you see how I gave them respect and I serviced them," and he didn't say that. I just inherently learned it. Thank God.
And you did inherently learn that. I've noticed little things that you do. When I first started at Roby Electric, I think we went to quote a generator over in Glen Eagles. And you grabbed the woman's paper and you grabbed her trash can and rolled it up to her house without you just did it naturally. And I watched that and I was like, well, that's something different and unique that most people probably wouldn't think to do.
So it's the great things that we have, but with that and with the history comes the struggle to build systems around that, because you're already so big and busy relative in our world. And then also, like we said, addressing social media, because we already have clients, because the generations before us brought the paper in and took I always hear our foreman take the dogs out. I've heard that story 25 times if I've heard it once. "Oh, Tony's so nice. You don't even understand how good your guys are. He walks my dog every day for me." I'm like, yeah, that's a great use of my 30 minutes. No, I'm joking. That's what we want him doing. I'm kidding. I put on my greedy businessman hat. No, I'm joking. I want Tony walking dogs. So let's talk a little bit. So off the brand, the original brand of Andrew Roby, we grew Roby Commercial, broke it out in about '09. At about the same time, '09, '10, we really broke out Roby Electric, and then more recently, last year we created Roby Realty, and we broke out Roby Handyman, which we've always done handyman. But so we kind of created a home services service industry
Exactly.
off of our brand. So won't you tell us? I mean, you've been with Roby Electric. You've been leading Roby Electric. You've matured into a leader. I see it every day. I enjoy our friendship. Since we broke the brand out, broke the business out, separated it, and it's really starting to grow legs, and it's now creating more opportunities. We think there's needs that our clients have. They love how we do business. If they love how we do business, we might need to give them similar services in other arenas.
I agree, and I appreciate you using the word mature to describe me. I'm pretty sure that's probably the first time I've heard that in a while. But you're right. I mean, it's home services. We're helping people out electrically 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, live operator answering the phone. I mean, those are the kinds of things that we think are important. Guy shows up in a uniform. He's going to address you with, yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I mean, the things that as a service company are important. And you're right. So we built this system on the services side, handyman, obviously, and electric, that's allowed us to now be able to pursue heating and cooling, which, of course, right now is a huge topic because of what's going on with the weather outside. So we're starting down that road. We're not there yet, but it's something that's in the works to be built. Is having that heating and cooling component where we can offer maintenance contracts, service agreements, and God forbid your system goes down, we'll be able to replace.
I mean, frankly, the number of repeat generational clients that call our office or say, "Hey, what do I do with HVAC?" So we're already managing it. We're already taking the accountability for it. And we have a lot of allies in that world. And just as in with construction, commercial, and the electrical as we've grown it, our allies are the good people that do the same thing in Charlotte become stronger, a.k.a., Mike with Killingsworth.
Correct.
He is a super ally. We share business ideas. There's market share out there for both of us to grow if we do it right.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to take care of the client at a fair price and make sure that things are done the right way. And if they're not, we're going to keep doing it until it's fixed and done properly. And I think that's what aligns us with people like Killingsworth. I mean, they're a great company. They have the same mindset. So really, it's very similar. We'll bolt on the expertise from the technical side into our system, and then we'll start offering maintenance contracts to those out there listening that can cover your heating and cooling system, and then you're getting sort of the Roby treatment.
I'll tell you something that I am so grateful that we inherited in my generation, and my dad carried. My granddad was around, passed away in '05. He worked every day other than when he went and golfed until he passed away. He got cancer and went pretty quick. And then my dad, as everybody knows, about a year and a half ago, we lost the great Papa Ron. But everybody used to always tell me when I was a kid, and I said, "Oh, I found my dad's president of Andrew Roby." Let me tell you a story, son. It's Dilworth Little League. Let me tell you a story, son. It doesn't always go right, but your company, your family always makes it right, and that's awesome. And I said, that's great. But what it challenged me to do, I said, that is the best characteristic you can have back in your company and your people. But I want to build a system to where the percentage of times it goes right on the front end.
Oh, yeah, of course.
So eventually you'll do it so many times on the front end because the system works around the great people. You need great people, number one. You hear that less and less, and you just hear, man, y'all built a great company. Every time I call, it's great. I got a thank you note in the mail. We're big about thank you notes. Your guys always write everything down. I had my business coach tell me this week something great about all my people is we always carry notepads. I don't want to forget. So that's happened, and it's really happened, and parlaying with what y'all have done in the home services on the electrical side and how y'all treat people has really helped raise the tide on all of our Roby brands. So thank you.
No problem. I mean, I think the real thank you needs to go to the customers, and I know there's probably a ton of them listening out there. And thank you. I mean, you're the ones that have helped us build this company. You've put your faith with your home and or office in our hands, and we cannot be more appreciative. You're listening to At Home with Roby. Don't forget to check out our podcast if you missed any of the show or you want to go back and listen to some of our past shows. We'll be right back.